So let's go for the desktop and batches and Arbindo. Okay. Sri, definitely I will explain you. Okay. We
Yeah, thank you.
concentrate on for today's session. Okay. So if the time consists, I will sort out that doubt. Okay. It's not
Okay.
a doubt, it's a small doubt only. Okay.
Yeah,
Even by the way explanation also, maybe I can use that operators.
sure.
Okay. Now, so for today's session is it's a looping statements. This is a pretty important concept actually. So looping statement in the sense, for example, if we have one particular task, the same task if you want to do it multiple times, same task you want to do that multiple times continuously, okay, then that situations looping statements will help you a lot. But to do this kind of repetition of the task, there we have a two kind of looping statements are there. The first one is the while loop and second one is the for loop. Okay, I can try to be cover this two in a one session itself. The reason is that again we have to practice more examples. Okay, so the syntax I can explain everything in a format of syntax only. If you're thoroughly understood the syntax and flow and everything, then so it could be easy for you. It could be easy for you, right? So that's what. For example, let's go for understanding the while loop. So while loop, it can be used for to repeat the task actually until the condition is a fail. So which means that we have a condition. So we have a condition until the condition is failed. Until the condition is failed, whatever the task we have it, task repeats until the condition is failed. The task can be executes. Is it clear? So here the syntax of the while is very simple thing. So here while is the keyword and followed by the condition, followed by the condition. Here the condition we can implement based upon your previous operators concepts. Okay, and here the condition is true, so you can defining the task. This is the task can be defining inside of the block, right? So this is the block of statements can be repeated continuously, okay, until this particular condition is false. For example, let me consider condition is true. If the condition is true, this is the task what we defining inside of the while. It can be executes. Once execution is done, again it will be go for checking the condition. Once the condition is true, again the same task can be repeated. After execution of this particular task, again it will be go for checking the same condition. Okay, again the condition is true, this particular corresponding task can be executes. So this is the way until unless this condition is false, this particular task can be executes. Okay, once the condition is fail, we have an optional block which is else block. So this is the else block can be executes if and only if the condition is fails. If the condition is not fail, it won't be go for executes. Only one time it can be executes. This is the simple syntax of the while. Is there any questions, guys, regarding about the syntax and the flow? Is there any question regarding about the flow of while? All right. Let's go to a small program. Write a program, print hello 10 times. Print hello 10 times. So that's my task actually. So we just need to go ahead with print, right? So print hello. But this is the print hello, we need to be write 10 times, right? But what I should do actually, this is my task. This is the task I should write inside of the while. Inside of the while. So here the condition we can make it. So if the condition is true, it can be printing the hello. After printing hello, again it will be go for checking the condition, right? But here the condition is based upon your logic. So here I have to repeat only 10 times. That means this
Less
condition,
than or equals to
yes,
10.
this condition should be satisfied with that particular logic. So I can start with some initial value, is 1, and this is the I value which is reaching to the 10. It can be repeats this particular hello print statement, but every time the I value is the constant, which is 1 only. For every iteration, for every repetition, I have to be update the I value. Okay, so I plus equal to 1. So for every updation I can be updating with 1. So once I is updated, now I value is the 2, 2 less than or equal to 10, condition is true, which is printing hello. Again I can be updated as the 3, 3 less than or equal to 10, so again it is printing. Similarly, it can be reaching to the 10, 10 less than or equal to 10, condition is true, so that it is printing hello. And again I value could be updated, now I value is the 11, 11 less than or equal to 10, no, right, it was false. Once the while condition is false, then else can be executes. Okay, you can mention here clearly condition is failed. So here we got a syntax. The syntax is that I already told you, every block which could be a colon. So which is printing hello 10 times, right? And I want to print the value of y. I should know whether it is really 10 times is repeated or not. For that one, I'm printing I value also. So which is printing I value? I value is the 1, 2, 3. When it is 10, 10 in the, when I value is the 10, that time also it is printing. But when I value is 11, that time the condition is false, so that it went to the else block. Okay. Yep. Is there any question regarding about the small program? No, right? See, similarly, we have a for loop is there. Okay, but a for loop which is not based on the condition. Here we don't have any kind of condition. Without condition, then how the for loop can be executes? No condition actually. But how we can do that? So there, the for syntax is it's a pretty different. So for, and here we have to defining some user defined variable. Okay, and in, so here we should have some kind of user defined sequence. So you have some kind of sequential elements are there. Okay, so here this is the syntax actually. This could be the syntax. First try to be go for understanding the syntax. Okay, this is the syntax of the for. In this particular thing, do you have any kind of condition? Have you seen any kind of condition here, Sri? No condition, right? This is not condition first of all. So here what happens, here I should defining some kind of user defined sequence. So how many number of elements are there? So the for loop can be repeated number of
Times.
elements in user defined sequence, that many times, that many times the for loop can be repeated. For loop can be executes. Is it clear? So here how many number of elements are there, that many times this particular for loop is executed. As of now this is fine. Then what about this one? What exactly this user defined variable? For every iteration, for every iteration, for every iteration, for every repetition or iteration, user defined. So you can give you any name here. User value can be updated, from user defined sequence. So whatever the user is defining that particular sequence, from that particular elements is updating to this particular user defined variable var. This is exactly syntax of the, this is exactly syntax of the for loop. Okay, now my intention is that I would like to defining one particular user defined sequence. So this is my sequence. This is my sequence. My sequence is, for example, list 12, 90, and 34, and 50. How many elements are there?
4 list elements.
4 elements are there. Total we have the 4 elements are there. For example, for variable in sequence. Okay, variable in sequence. I just want to print hello. Okay, so just go for print else. Task done. So we just executed. How many times the hello is printing? 4 times is printing, right? So here we have only 4 elements. The 4 elements of sequence you're giving as input for the for loop, so that the for loop can be repeated only 4 times. But what could be the value of var? If I want to know that, what could be the value of var? So you just print the,
Length of the list.
it's not length of the list, it's element in the list. For every iteration, first iteration, first element. For second iteration, second element. For third iteration, third element. For fourth iteration, fourth element. So that first time you're printing hello, by the time the value of var is first element. Second time you're printing hello, for second time, second element of the sequence. For third time you're printing hello, third time the third element of the this particular sequence. I hope you're clear, right? For every iteration, the var is updating from this particular sequence of variables, a sequence of elements from this particular sequence of elements. I hope you're clear or not.
So if we want to print for 12 hello, 90 how, 34 r, 50 u, is that possible to do that?
Sorry.
I mean, for all the 4 elements, we are printing just hello. But if you want to print hello, how are you?
Oh, so every time you're changing this thing, right? That
Mm-hmm.
it means that it's a condition. Okay. So, for example, so that could be the condition. So here it's a one static data. Okay, but you're saying that it's a dynamic thing, right? Okay. So there you should implement the condition. For example, if var is equal to 12, then hello.
Oh.
Okay. For example, elif. So here we have a total 4 elements, right? So that you should implement the four elifs. Var equal to 90. Okay. Now you would like to go for print the var how. Okay.
Mhm.
Again we can go ahead with the one
If
more elif.
equals to 30.
Var equal to 34. So print var and r. Okay. Else
Elif.
elif. You can use elif, but we have only 4 elements, right? You already know that it's a 4 elements. But
Mhm.
every number you're giving some kind of meaningful information. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So now we can execute it. Clear, right?
Mhm. So what if we don't know what is the element in that? I mean,
It's what.
in first place we have
See,
12, but
this is
what if we
just a,
don't know?
Sri, actually, this is just a logic. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
there is no meaning at all. Your question is there is no meaning. But for understanding purpose, I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to
Okay.
explain that. Okay. So here my intention is that it's a logic. It's a syntax. The syntax of the for it is not changing, right? So first thing is not changing. For var in sequence. Okay. That means here you should defining one user defined variable, and here you should have some kind of user defined sequence. But here we have else is there, right? But here the logic is changing. The logic is depends upon your problem statement. Clear or not? So,
Yes.
so previously I don't have any logic, so simply I'm printing hello. For 4 times I want to print it so that I'm not printing the var. But i got a I got a condition from my project manager. He said that you would like to go for print the your value also, so that I'm using the variable name. That means user defined variable name. But again, I updating my cushion. Okay, so for every value of for every value of var, you would like to go for print the different elements, different data. Okay, so I'm writing based upon your logic. So it's all about your logic, but the syntax is not at all changing. That you should remember it. Okay. So even my explanation is not yet done. Just I'm showing you the difference between the while and for. If you want to implement the while, make sure that you should have a condition. But when it comes to the for, you don't need any kind of condition. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now, some situations, some situation here, here we have a four elements are there. You're printing four times your allow or whatever it is. But now my question is that I would like to go for print the write a program print hello 10 times, but I don't have any sequence. Then what happens? You would like to go for print the hello 10 times. That's my logic. That's my task actually. You would like to go for print the hello 10 times without using the while. You can do with the while, right? You just implement the condition for repeating of that particular task for 10 times, right? Without while loop. How we can do that? So for var in sequence, this is the sequence means anything we can use it. Okay, sequence, and you don't know what could be the, I just want to print the hello, but here the sequence is how many elements I should have it. 10 elements, right? But I don't have any kind of sequence to build. I don't have any kind of sequential element, sequential data variable with 10 elements, right? So that's the reason we can have a function is range function. If I'm giving the range of 10, which means that it can be generating the range of elements from 0 to 9, so that it is printing the hello 10 times. So again, you might be thinking, what could be the value for every time? What is the value of var? You just go ahead with var, so which is starting with 0. So when I'm giving the range of 10, which is the range is which is starting with 0, so that var is 0 for first iteration, for second iteration is 1. So it is giving the 10, right? So till 10 minus 1 in the sense 9. So 10 minus 1 elements it can be generated, 0 to 10 minus 1, that means 9. 0 to 9 sequential element it can be generated for every iteration. Okay, but you can providing that range is not only from 10 to 1 0 to 10. You can give you anything, but I want to do that, so for example 10 plus 12, again it's a 10 only. So but it is started with 2, but it's ended with 11. Okay, so here you mentioned that start element as well as stop element also. Okay, but here I can give you some kind of step. For example, you're starting with 5 and I should go ahead with 58. Every fourth element I want it. So 5 plus 4 9, 9 plus 4 13, 13 plus 4 17, 17 plus 4 it's a 21, which is starting with 5 and it should be ends with 57. See, it should be ends with 57, right? So because of 58 minus 1, it's a 57. So till 57, only it can be considered. For example, same program, here directly I'm mentioning that it's a 57 only. If I mention the 57, the last is only 57, right? So 57 is the less than the 57. It's not less than the 57. So that the condition is, I mean, till 53 only we can access, not 57. 57 is your stop element. It will be stop at 57. It's not gonna access. So this is the way the range can help you to repeat the for loop with some specific number of times. Okay, I hope you got it, the logic, the syntax of the while and for. Now I can have different programs we will do with the help of the for loop as well as while. Write a program, write a program, find the factorial of a number. So you have one particular number, the number which is given by the user, the number n which is given by the user. Okay, user input. So you have to do it factorial, right? For example, if I enter the 5, what could be the value, what could be the factorial of the 5? It's a 1 into
1050.
2 into 3 into 4 into 5, right? Yes or no? This is the value of factorial of pi. It's a 120, right? So that same thing I should do with the help of the for loop as well as while loop. So n, it could be user input, so that we can take it this value with help of the input function. Enter n, so enter the n value. So I will do with help of the for loop. So fact is default, it's a 1. So fact is default, it's a 1. So this is the while I can be starting with 1 to till that n value I have to be considered, so that for every iteration the fact can be updated with the previous fact. It can be multiplied with the present value of I, and then I would like to go for updating the value of I. Otherwise the while loop is never a fail. Okay, so if all iterations are done, then I would like to go for print the factorial, right? So I would like to go for print the n value, and factorial symbol I want to print it, and equal to symbol. Then okay, then I would like to go for print the fact value. This is simple logic. Okay, this is simple logic for finding the factorial of one number. So you're just multiplying one particular number from 1 to till that particular number. Okay, same thing we will do with help of the for loop. Same logic. How we can do it? Here you don't need to defining the value of I. The reason is that you're not repeated at all, right? So we are not using any kind of condition for I in a range of, so we would like to start with 1, right? So 1 till n we should access. If you want to access the n, you have to mention the n plus 1. Otherwise it will accessing till n minus 1 only. For every iteration the fact can be updated with my previous value of the fact. It can be multiplied with value of 5. Okay, when else is when all iterations are done, then it will be go for printing the else block. So same output, right? Previous one and this one both are doing the same thing, but previous one is which is implemented with help of the condition, but this one is not based on the condition.
Why do you have to write else here? I mean, you can just put the print at the end of the for loop or the while loop, right? I mean, why do you need an else? It's not a
Else is
condition.
optional. Else is optional block.
Okay.
It's all about when your loop is done, you want to performing any one of the task whenever you want it. If you don't want it, you just simply remove it. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, else block is optional block. If you want to keep it, you can keep. If you want to remove it, you just remove it. It's just optional block. But when we should use it in the sense, whenever my condition is false, that situation I have to performing one particular task. Okay, that situation only we can use it. Clear, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so meanwhile we have the three keywords are there. Continue keywords. Just I'm explaining the concepts, guys, so we have a lot of examples for upcoming sessions. Okay, so continue in the sense, so it will help you to skip the some iteration, skip the current iteration statements. Okay, then go for the, then continue the next iteration. So that is the meaning of the continue. So basically this continue we should write inside of the if blocks only or else blocks only. So make sure that you should keep it inside of the conditional block, and moreover it is available in the loops only. Okay, see for example I would like to go for print the 1 to 10 except 5. Okay, except 5, you have to go for print the 1 to 10. So I can use the for loop as well as else. You can use anything for I in range of, you can able to see my screen, right? Okay, so 1 to 11 you can keep it, but I would like to go for print the value of I. Okay, I'm just try with a different way. Print I equal to 5. Sorry, if I equal to 5, I can use the continue. This situation, there is no meaning of it, right? But for example, if I use it that hello, see every time which is printing the value of y, then followed the, for example, you can keep it this one, you can make it end. Okay, yes, fine. See, everything is fine. So 1 and followed the hello, and 2 and followed the hello, 3 is followed the hello, and 4 is followed the hello. But in place of fine, it's not printing hello. That means something is happening, right? So whenever I value is 5, then continue is executed. Once the continue is executed, what statement we have it after the continue, those statements which is not executed, so that after the 5 you are not printing the hello, it went for the next iteration. For next iteration I value is the 6, right? So that it is printing the 6. So if I value is the 6, this continue is not executed, so that hello is printing. See here continue, it just help you to skip the current statement iteration or current iteration statements. Okay, but this is not my question, right? You have to print 1 to 10 and you have to print it 1 to 10 but except 5. That's my question, right? So what you should do, you just print the I value, that's it. You're printing 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, but 5 is not there. 4 in between 4 and 6, 5 has been skipped. So that is the use of the continue. Continue just to skip after the continue. So if you return the continue inside, not inside of the condition, outside of the condition, if you make it, then it won't executed any statements after the continue. Okay, no meaning at all. So same thing, we can have the one more keyword is there, break keyword. Let me consider when I have the break keyword is executed, so stops the loop. So loop stop the loop at 5. We're just printing only 1 to 4 only. This situation we can try to go for use the else block. So print else. See, else is not executed. Actually it has to repeat the 10 times, but in the middle of it your break your loop was terminated. Once the loop is terminated, in the middle the else is not executed. Else can be executed if and only if condition is fed. I think Arvindo asked a small question, then what is the use of the else engine, right? Arvindo,
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I think
you asked some
probably in a
question
specific
10
scenario.
minutes back, right? The question is, else is executed even a condition is fail or condition is false. You can write the statement whatever you wanted. Um, Not inside of the else, we can write outside of the else, right? But here the exact meaning is regarding about else. When you're using the break, some situations your loops are terminated in the middle. That time your else is not executed. Okay, else can be executed if and only if when the condition or when loop is successfully executed. Instead of saying that the condition true or false, whatever it is, so when the loop has been executed successfully without any terminations, then else can be executed. Otherwise else is not at all executed. It is showing that your loop is successfully executed. Okay, yep. And we have one more keyword is there, which is the pass keyword. So here the pass keyword, the use of the pass keyword is that to create some kind of empty blocks. If you not creating empty, if you're not giving this, if you want to create empty block but I don't have any statements, then you will be getting this kind of indentation error. To overcome this one, we can have a statement is pass, just creating dummy blocks, no use. So you have to concentrate on the continue and break only. Okay, continue and break will help a lot. Break will help you to terminating the loops. Continue will help you to skip the statements inside of the current iterations, and it will be go for next iteration. Okay, and that's a use of this particular loops and control statements actually. So I want to give you some kind of a task for you. And how many people are know about HackerRank? So go and look this HackerRank. So log in your HackerRank. Okay, if you don't have it, we can create your own. Okay, so now for example, you want to prepare or you want to solve the problem solving, whatever it is. Here we have some kind of things are there, problem solving basics, whatever it is. Oh shit. Okay, notifications. Mm, Python. Okay, here we have a lot of questions are there. So you just open this one. When you're opening this one, you can read this entire question and we can write the logic here and we can run the code. For example, here the sample code is you have to go for print the hello world, right? And you should exactly print this one only. So what you should do, you can just copy this one, we can write it. So make sure that whether you're using the Python 3 or which one you're using, we can select that code. So congratulations, and you can say that it is submit the code. Once submission is done, all the test cases can be passed. This is sample code actually. After that one, we can have the next challenge. Go for the next challenge, and you can read this entire question. Okay, and input format and output format as for the inputs and as for the output. Okay, so you have to write your own logics. So ABC XYZ company has up to 100 employees. The company decide to create unique identification number UID for each and its employee. The company has assigned you the task of validating the all the randomly generated UIDs. A valid UID must follow these rules. What are the rules? You must contain at least two uppercase characters. Okay, you must contains the at least the 3 digits, and you must contains the alphanumerical things. No character should not be repeat. Same character you could not use it actually. Okay, there must be exactly 10 characters invalid. So the unique ID it must be 10 characters. Okay, two uppercase characters, 3 digits. You may have the smaller case letters and uppercase characters. Okay, and no character should not be repeated. So based on that one, you have to go for implement the condition. Okay, so here input is, for example, 2. Your input is 2, which means the 2 employee IDs. You're giving the 2 inputs. Here if it is the 2 means 2 inputs. If I'm giving the 3 means you are going to be getting the 3 kind of codes. This code is valid. For example, this is one employee ID. This is the code is having the B1CD10. So here 1 is repeated 2 times, right? So that it's not valid. But here, so we have uppercase letters. Okay, we have uppercase letters and digits, right? And so if you wanted to make it lowercase characters, it's up to you, but it's not there, but no problem. But they're not set any kind of lowercase characters. It must contain at least 2 uppercase characters so that it's a valid. So first line is number of inputs. So which means that n equal to int of input. So it's not displaying anything, int of input only. Okay, so how many times it has to repeat it? 2 times, right? So here I can have the employee IDs. So this is one list. So initially it's empty. So how many employees I wanted? 2 employees, right? 2 employee IDs I am giving 2 here because of it's a 2 is there. So that 2 times it has to repeat it for I in a range of n. Then after you would like to go for employee ID. Okay, employee IDs, can make it employee IDs. So you're taking the employee ID from the user. So input of, so you just give you input. It was this kind of sequence of characters. Okay, so this is the employee ID. It can be appended to your employee IDs. Append. So with help of the append function, we can append, right? Employee ID. I think these concepts I already done, right? All append functions and those things. Okay, now you would like to take it every time one particular input. So for emp, sorry, emp ID in emp IDs. How many employee IDs we have it? That times IDs. Okay. So now you would like to write the task that this is the validation task we should write it. So first of all, length it should be, there must be exactly 10 characters, right? So that length of emp id equal to 10. Okay, this is my first condition. Okay, otherwise what you should print, invalid. Invalid when the employee ID sequence is, it is not exactly the 10, then it could be invalid. Okay, it was 10 characters only. Now you're entering into inside of that one. Okay, again, how many uppercase characters you should have it?
At least 3.
How many digits you should have it?
At least 3.
At least 3 digits we should have it, right? So here we can make it the count of the uppercase characters. U underscore C, in the sense it's a count. Default it was 0. Okay, and digits count, D count in the sense, DC in the sense digits count. And one more thing is that no character, it should not be repeated. Okay, no character, it should not be repeated, right? So that here what I can do, here characters, okay, so you're taking one particular character. Okay, so this is the character, it was initially it's empty. So if, so now you can use the for whatever it is. So you're taking the ch, so don't confuse yourself. I'm taking the okay, so why I should defining this one, the only thing is that I have to check it, is there any character is repeated. Okay, so for character in employee ID, so every character you're accessing. Okay, so that character is, whether it is a digit or not, you have to check it. If is digit, is digit, then which is the is digit, chr, right? If the chr is the is digit, then what I should do, d underscore can be update, right? Sorry. Okay, so here you should write it char dot is digit. Okay, char dot is digit, it can be updated with 1 when it is the digit. Maybe it's not the digit. Okay, it's not the digit, and it's not the digit. Maybe it was uppercase character, is upper. If it is the upper, then what I should do, u underscore c count can be updated with 1. Okay, now here I have to defining the sequence character or sequence id. Okay, it initially it was empty, so if this all conditions are done, okay, so here I can check it, elif elif okay, so no character should not be repeated, right? elif elif what? So the character not in the character in sequence of IDs not in sequence of ID. Okay, then what I should do, the sequence of ID can be update. The sequence of ID can be update with your car, with your car. If which is not in a, which is not in the which is not in sequence of ID, which means that there is no repetition. If maybe if it is repeated, it's not the digit. Okay, maybe some special characters, right? Some special characters is alpha char is all num maybe the character is alphabet, it's not the digit. Okay, it's not the digit. Okay, it's not the uppercase character. Okay, maybe it may be digit or it may be alphabet, a smaller case alphabet or uppercase alphabet. Okay, so that time you're not doing anything actually, you're simply pass it. Okay, now else this is which is not the digit, which is not uppercase character, which is not in sequence, which is which is not in alpha numerical thing. That means it could be some kind of special character, right? If it is a special character, then what I should do, I can print it. I can print it invalid, and I should break it. If all iterations are done, here I can check the u underscore c, u underscore count of this thing, at least, right? It's greater than or equal to 2, and digits underscore c, right? digits underscore c, which is greater than or equal to 3. Okay, and this situation you would like to go for print the valid. If these two things are not met, then you can print the else block. It was invalid. So this way we can run this code. So okay, your output is valid and valid. The expected thing is invalid, right? But I got the valid and valid. What is this issue here? Okay, okay. Okay, sorry. If sequence of you're also wrong. Some logic is missing. We can try for this is the way we can do it. We have 10 minutes of time, right? We can sort out this issue. So length is equal to 10. So if not, it's else. Then go for the employee ID. Sequence of character for every time, not in sequence. Not in sequence in the sense there could be a problem. Shit, something is missing. Try for this logic, guys. Digit uppercase characters and not alphabet. We're going to break, right? So before breaking, we should print invalid, then break it. So this condition is false and this condition is false. So the sequence is not break. Once it is break, no time break is executed. That means that it is not
There's no check for repeating characters. I think this is one is repeating in the first input, so maybe that's the reason.
sorry.
you're not checking for repeating characters, right? They're saying that no character should repeat, and in this input, B1 is repeating B1 C D1
See,
fourth,
here
right? And
no
no character
character
should
should not no character
should
should repeat, right?
right.
So no character should repeat in the sense here I'm creating one sequential ID. Okay, so initially it's empty. So if the character, if it is not there, not in sequential of ID, then you're updating the sequential ID, your previous sequential ID, and we are adding this char, and you're updating the sequential ID. Okay, so if in case this condition is false, which is invalid, right? And you are breaking your loop, right? Mhm. Mhm.
Just put a print statement in all the ifs and else ifs.
Only contains
Basically.
alphanumerical things, uh, not char is all num. That means if any special character is there, it is invalid. It's upper. Okay, anyway, this way we can implement the logic, Arabindo, and maybe your some logic is missing. We can try for this one. Okay, so here we take, based upon your question, we can write our own logic and we can do it. Okay,
Yep.
it was making me some invalid, both are valid only, but somewhere it is missing. If valid in the sense this is the thing was executing, this is the thing is executing. Okay, but why it is executing is a question. That means for loop is successfully, if the for loop is successfully completed, then else is executed. So it is not, does it, if this condition is, this condition is, this condition is false, this condition is false, this condition is also false, this condition is also false, then else can be executed, right? Okay, 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 you're missing a small thing. This is a thing, it could be updated for every where. You should update this sequential ID where for every time. Okay, then you should do it. Okay, this thing you have to update this sequential ID for every with your previous character and previous sequential ID and the present char. You should concatenate it and you're updated here itself. Okay, until unless maybe this is the logic is correct, but somewhere is missing. Actually, you can try for this one. Okay. Yep. Okay, guys, I will meet it on a Monday again.
But
Jay, you can come for session again.